Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Lucas Owino. If you're joining us for the first time, feel most welcome and kindly subscribe so that we may move along together as we learn. Today I want to talk about teenagers and how to raise them responsibly. Now, God has given us a responsibility as parents to raise up teenagers because He tells us in Psalms 127 verse 3 that children are a gift from God. And so we've got to take care of these gifts that God has given us. One thing that teenagers hold against parents and the society is that they are always misunderstood. And so for us to raise up teenagers in a responsible way, the first thing we've got to do is to understand what informs their activities and their behaviors. And then we must also look at the vulnerable areas that teenagers are prone to in life. Now, in understanding teenagers, the first thing we've got to do is to understand that these young ones always desire their own identity. They establish their ideas separate from that of their parents because they want to look unique. Another thing is that teenagers always develop their own language and culture in every generation. For example, different hairstyles, different dress code, and even the type of music they listen to. And another thing is that teenagers are idealistic. They are full of ideas. And so they always think that their ideas are better than that of their parents and that they can always change the world. Another thing about teenagers is that teens are very full of energy. And so parents must always look at positive activities through which these teenagers can channel this energy. Now, teenagers are also known to be those that are very inquisitive. It is a stage where they are very inquisitive, and teenagers will ask a wide number of questions ranging from why they need to go to school in the first place or whether God even exists. And so parents should be there to guide them and to provide appropriate answers, and they should not shy away from answering these questions. Another thing is that teenagers like to take chances. They experiment with so many things, including limits and boundaries. And so teenagers should always be held accountable for their actions so that they may grow up responsibly. Another thing is that teenagers always look up to people who are truthful. They love truth and honesty. And that is why if a father who drinks comes home and tells a teenage son not to drink, that alcohol is bad, they are bound not to take that advice because they see two different conflicting views, and that confuses them. Another thing is that teenagers are great collaborators. They love to gain pleasure by beating the system. They plan together to beat the system, and that makes them happy. Having looked at that, let us look at now the vulnerable areas that teenagers go through. Number one is reckless commitment. Teenagers always desire to belong to a particular group, and that is why they will join even a bad group so that they may feel accepted and they may feel belonging to a particular group. Another thing is that teenagers are vulnerable to laziness. Teenagers always enjoy life for the moment. They love partying and they don't like work. And that is why they would rather sleep or watch TV or just play the whole day. Another thing is that teenagers are very vulnerable to bad influences in the society. As they grow up, they always look up to mentors. And sometimes they can find amongst themselves or in the society at large. And so parents should guide them of the kind of people they should aspire to emulate. Another thing is sex. The sex drive that develops in teenagers makes them very much vulnerable because most of the times they always think, their mind is always full of sexual images and thoughts. And so parents should take the primary role in guiding the teenagers about their sexuality, and they should never leave this to teachers or to the society. Another thing is money and style. Teenagers like the money that comes with a style. And likewise, they like the style that comes with money. And so they will always cherish these celebrities and want to emulate them irrespective of their behaviors. Another thing is drugs and alcohol abuse. You know, for teenagers, that they may appear big and cool, they tend to get hooked up by experimenting with alcohol and drugs. And in the process, they get completely addicted to this. And the last thing is independence and rebellion. Teenagers always believe that their idea is the best, and so they want to do things their own way. So they need greater guidance from mature people, and more so the parents being the primary custodians so that they may know the right way. And so, viewers, this is what I wanted to share with you. Once we know what teenagers go through and how to understand them, then we can always come up with a good way of guiding them in following responsible ways in the society so that they may grow up to be responsible adults. Thank you, and may God bless you.